Welcome, Stefania. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Christine. Very much forward to have a discussion with you and happy to be here.
Great. So first off, can you explain what your role is?
Well, my role is I'm responsible for sustainability. I'm actually VP Sustainability for MSC Cargo Division. I joined the company 1.5 years ago, so in the middle of the pandemic, in a very peculiar moment. And after really organizing and structuring the department, now we're really moving forward when it comes to starting the journey related to sustainability and sustainable development topics. So.
Did you have a past in sustainability? What attracted you to this role?
I kind of say I'm kind of a pioneer because I started 2001 in sustainability, so quite a long journey. I started, and I had the privilege to work for TNT, which was one of the first companies that really integrated sustainability in the business model. Transport was, in that moment in time, under the radar, and with the lead of Peter Bakker, that now is also the CEO of World Business Council of Sustainable Development, I started my journey in sustainability, and I really enjoyed the experience of this long transformation and seeing how much sustainability is becoming more and more business critical. That was not the case 20 years ago. We were kind of visionary, considered people that were thinking about changing the world, but with no clear purpose and not very relevant for the business, but even not very linked to the business and what the business needs were. But there we are, and the world has changed, and fast. And now we are in the momentum of transition where sustainability is more and more considered as the topic per definition. So sustainable business and business have a key role in sustainability. So this means that we will have a central role, which is something that I earned and which is something that a lot of colleagues also deserve, I think.
So you said you were a pioneer 20 years ago getting involved in sustainability. How has the topic changed in those 20 years?
Well, the topic has changed in a very relevant way. I might say when I studied sustainability, it was first of all called corporate social responsibility. So this means a lot. Was more on social impact. Was the attempt to start integrate social responsibility in the business. So it was kind of from philanthropy to social impact. And then there was also the topic related to environmental impact. So two different topics, very not, let me say, integrated and very also difficult to start have your manager understand how it was relevant for their business and how they should have been careful, should have been mindful in redesigning the business, in adding a new sense of direction, a new perspective. So I did see a lot of, at the real beginning was like very difficult, was like a small environment where a lot of people were trying to encourage to move forward, but very difficult to become critical for the business. So the listening position also at C-suite level was not there. I had the privilege to start with a very visionary CEO. So this was a very top-down approach. Very difficult was to have your manager understand and not being skeptical. So for 10 years, up until 2010, it was like everyone was skeptical. So what you're talking about? And why are you taking care of this? What does it mean for our business? Show us, be pragmatic, be business relevant.
And why do you think it's changed now?
It's changed because now it's clear that environmental and social impact are connected. Responsibility for the business is becoming more and more relevant. So governments, other key stakeholders are really counting that business have to play their role. And for this reason, we have to define a pathway and to finalize solution together. So it has become business critical because now business have a clear responsibility.
And what do you do in your role on a day-to-day? So what are you specifically responsible for?
Well, I'm responsible for the whole cargo division business. So it means when it comes to the inland transportation, but also obviously the main part is the shipping one. So it's the logistic in any case. And my role is that of really integrating sustainability within the way we do business and finalizing solution when it comes to address our major challenges, like, for example, decarbonization. So it's really supporting the company in finalizing the pathway and evaluating what can be the potential solution, but also how to address the main challenges with an approach that is a collective approach. So we know that for us it's business critical decarbonization, but we also know that we cannot be alone in this journey. We cannot have solution by ourselves, so we cannot finalize scalable solution without being together in doing this with the key stakeholders of reference. And it's about finalizing technologies, it's about finding new ways to be able to really design new ships, to really create new pathways. So it's a journey, and what is really important for us is that in this journey we will be part of one of the main actors that will finalize solution, but also key enablers, because customers rely on us. We are their scope 3, let me say.
Right.
So they are their supply chain. So it's very important that we also work together with them to find the best solution for efficiency.
So you talk about not being able to do this alone. So what partners do you work with? What industry groups are you part of? What associations are you, looking to help you on this journey?
Well, when it comes to association, I would say we are present in all relevant associations when it comes to the shipping industry. So this because we think it's very important, especially in this moment in time, to share our knowledge, to steer where possible, and to make understand what are really the needs, but also the obstacles are. So how we can overcome this together. And how we have to be also very realistic that decarbonization might happen, but it will take time. And we will take a lot of research and development to finalize the final solution. So transitional solution can be explored, and we will do that constantly, but the scalable solution are still not there. So this requires a lot of interaction with manufacturers, a lot of interaction with the technological, science-based companies, because it's all about defining what could be potentially the best way of reshaping the industry. And considering that, we cannot stop.
Okay, so you mentioned time, and you mentioned that this will take time. So one of the things that we look at are the UN Sustainable Development Goals and what we need to achieve by 2030. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think 2030 is achievable? What do you think is needed for more bolder progress?
When it comes to sustainability itself and the SDGs, even if we have done a lot of step ahead, I do think we are still not there, and probably will be difficult to achieve all of them by 2030. I think Sustainable Development Goals have been the great language for all of us. So they really enable the improvement and were supportive to catalyze what we should all agree on. But there's still a matter of convergence. There's still a matter of really looking into these goals without a willingness to compromise. So there's no compromise behind these 17 goals. And the last one is the most critical one, so it's partnership. So we are in this together. And I do not still see the convergence. We still have to do a lot on this. Probably this will accelerate it fast. So this will be accelerated. We will move fast for sure.
So what is needed for the progress that you see or that you think that we need?
It's needed, I think, more leadership when it comes to certain areas, certain topics. And because there should be someone who really becomes the catalyst for this.
Is this governments? Is this public? Is this private?
It's together. It's together. So probably the leadership will come in creating the right way of putting in places or projecting new ways of thinking, new ways of making the right compromise for a new restart. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. This is my personal view, but I think that we also have a lot of examples, great ideas, also a lot of money now because it's time to deliver. But at the end of the day, what is missed is really that there is the sense of convergence and willingness to really make things happen. So sustainability for me is a journey, but it's also addressing challenges. And it's not only about projecting the way, because it's already too late, but it's starting being more active. And it's where then it becomes difficult because the area of compromise is relevant.
So you spoke about new ways and action. What new ways or what new thinking or what are you accelerating at MSC for this journey?
Well, we are really concentrating on our top priority, which is decarbonization, this for sure. We are working a lot on the energy efficiency because this is the first pillar, means we can already do a lot. We benefit from digitalization, reviewing all these opportunities to really streamline further the way we process our business, also at port level. And this is something that we can do and we will do and we are doing constantly. Then there will be the transition, and transition is trying and evaluating and piloting new fuel. Like we were pioneering in biofuels. We started 1 year and a half ago in the port of Rotterdam. It's a good opportunity. Obviously, it's not the solution, but we are going to promote this further. And we're still working on evaluating what could be the next fuel that we are going to use on board of our ship. Based also on the fact that we have to be very realistic. Ships have to be readapted. So it means that it takes time. And so we will go first for all these potential fuels that will not require a lot of invest in terms of, especially of time, because now in this momentum, so global economy requires a lot of transportation, and
absolutely,
it's business critical. So I said that we cannot stop. We have to move forward and finalizing the solution that potentially will enable us to downscale our emission, to support and to also engage our customers in this journey.
Now, in terms of new ships, so that is something that is very capital intensive. I think one of the challenges with sustainability is that businesses see it as a cost, as opposed to an opportunity. So what are you doing to kind of change that narrative at MSC to make them understand that, we do have tremendous opportunity from these potential investments in new fuel, new shipping, or manufacturing?
Well, I think that it's already, let me say, it's already there. So the concept that we will for sure invest when the technology will be there. So now the most critical thing is that technology is not there. So we will have to support and help throughout cooperating at the industry level to finalize what it is possible, what will be the ship of the future. Once it will be there, for sure we're going to invest in it. So that's the way it will be. So kind of a natural approach, let me say. And it will take time. So, but in the meantime, we have to finalize solutions so that will be relevant for the transition.
And what role is MSC playing in finding solutions, for themselves as a company, but also for the industry as a whole, the shipping industry?
So I think we are cooperating in a lot of platforms, and we are now in a lot of discussions that will enable the stakeholder, the most relevant stakeholder, to define what could be the relevant opportunity to work on and to work on the kind of, the research and development that is deserved, because it's still unclear. So it's all made of, attempt, potential opportunities, but then, and this is still a phase where there are a lot of ideas, a lot of potential decision-making process that will lead to define what could be the, let me say, most eligible fuel and most eligible new ships. So this is still an area where we are all working together at shipping industry to really find what's the best.
Okay. So the technology is not there, but as soon as it is there, you will be ready to go. So is that one of the things that frustrates you, is sort of the lack of speed, I would say, in terms of these new technologies being developed, or what frustrates you, in your role?
No, I don't think it's frustrating, because it's we have to be very realistic, and shipping, it's a great enabler for, I think, the enabler for the global economies. So there's also counterbalance in between. So there's no frustration. It's that when it happens, so when the decision of, transforming is there, and it's there per definition, then it's not frustration. But I will say a lot of excitement in try to explore and to evaluate what will be the best solution. Probably when it comes to frustration, but it is for all of us, is having really the solution there should be great. It's important to find the solution that we really that will really enable us to move fast. But to be honest, it also takes time.
So what motivates you in your role?
I think the fact that being in the, more and more in the business gives you the opportunity really to support the company, but also your colleagues to gain new perspectives and to understand also how much value you're creating and what potentially your decision making could impact. Sometimes you also discover that this kind of new sense of direction is still not clear. There's a lot of things to do. So sustainability is something that now it's more in the language of the business, but when it's to understand really what is needed to make things in a very different way or be more relevant, is still is still needed someone in the company who helps you understanding all the interconnections. Because sustainability, it's very cross-cutting. So it gives you really the opportunity to see the perspective of business in a different way.
Okay, so the role of sustainability, the reason why it's maybe different from some of the other roles is because it is cross-business. It is something that affects all the other businesses. So, what else is unique about the sustainability role, and what skills are needed to be successful in your role?
The unique is the fact that, as we said, we are cross-function, and so you have also the opportunity really to understand a lot of areas of the business, and for me, it's also an enrichment, a personal enrichment. It's not only supporting the companies in finalizing the framework, and then also addressing the different ownership when it comes to the areas of projects that we are going to finalize, and that are already underway also. And so this is an area that is really very, let me say, interesting and for me crucial also. When it comes to what is still needed, I think that what is still needed is to really understand your colleagues that there is a momentum. We are living a momentum, and we cannot be out. Also as an individual, so not only as a manager. And I'm not saying we have to be holistic or dreamers, but we have to gain new vision. And so leadership is crucial when you work in sustainability, because it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. So this I experienced along all my career. So people, colleagues, but also a lot of stakeholders was like, okay, but does it really matter? What is the true impact you're generating? Why are you doing this? You're losing a lot of energies. We should do this in a very different way, or they simply don't care, so ignore you. And now it's different, but you really need to be determined, and you really need to also engage people sometimes in a very different way. Be less, be pragmatic. So I learned that the best way is really to work close to your colleagues and to enable them to understand how you can reinterpret the business in a very simple way. There are small things, small tips, and they understand.
So what does success for you look like, either in your role or at MSC or with the industry in general?
When it comes to sustainability?
Correct. Well,
with the success, because I do see sustainability is really integrated. So for me, it's like, part of the way we are designing, projecting the business. So success will be really to address the major challenges with the eye of doing this not because this will be part of a competitive journey. This is still not clear. So business, they have a key role. They will be more and more engaged with different stakeholders. That will be crucial, because business, per definition, take the ownership, move fast, and so steer. So when it comes to sustainability, the success for me has been when I saw a lot of different stakeholders playing the same, playing in the same playground, willing to really finalize topics, finalize opportunities. So I think this is sustainability. At the end of the day, is a great enabler. I do see this as an enabler, as let me say, the department, the function, or it's really working at making things in a different way, which is huge, which is tremendously difficult, but also the success is where you really finalize a project that gives, to the others, to your colleagues, also to the audience, the possibility to understand that you can do that differently.
So it's rewarding.
Yes, which is not impossible. And sometimes it's even easier. And sometimes it's even cost less, because it's all about, now we are in the middle of a lot of debates when it comes to decarbonization, when it comes to, and it's about, okay, we have to invest a lot, yes, but we can also save a lot of money. So behind all this, these investment plan that have to be done if you have to step forward.
Right.
So we are in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. So investment are per definition part of the journey. So you cannot do anything without, thinking about the future and researching and, finalizing the best opportunities, because we cannot fail. Time is already gone. So we are already late, I would say. So we cannot even have the responsibility to take decisions that will not be scalable for solutions, for example.
So looking 10 years out, what does the industry look like? What does MSC look like?
I think that the industry will, for sure, now there's a lot of, willingness really to tackle the problem, because now we have to move forward. So I think the energy is there, that the industry is really willing to make the step forward. By 2030, I believe we will have finalized at least the targets for 2030, and will be in the journey of reviewing some processes, and also on finalizing the new, if we're thinking about ships, the new generation of ships. So it would be kind of a parallel journey. So one will be finalizing the new scenario, and the other will really be trying to scale down as much as possible, with a lot of energies to be put there. And this has to be done together with regulators. This has to be done together with all the possible researchers, whoever, because it's a huge challenge.
So in terms of the challenge for you personally, so you're in this role, you're working in this field for 20 years. It's something that you're seeing evolve in terms of sustainability being on the agenda, and just being an imperative now for business. What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I think it would be great if at the end of my career I will see people really not even thinking about do we have to do this, but considering this as business as usual, and progressing on that. So I do think this could be the legacy, because it's still not there. It's still not there. The why has still to be solved. And I think this could be potentially, let me say, the best wish for the future generation of sustainability manager as well. Okay. Work as business as usual, simply improve.
Improve the foundation that you've already laid.
Yes, but not fight for the why.
Stefania, shipping or transport in general is, incredibly crucial to our connected global economy. So how do you see, the importance of this industry, and why is it so important for this industry to be focusing on sustainability?
Well, as you said, shipping is crucial when it comes to really fostering the economic growth in certain area and at global level. We understood probably during the pandemic how crucial it was. And we also really work a lot on managing disruption. So I do see this when it comes to the sustainability perspective as one of the main relevant topics. So if we can grant connection, then we can also grant equality and stability. So, and it means a lot. It means a lot. It's considered a commodity. So for it's kind of normal that you can be interconnected all over the world, but it's not the case. Business like ours, for example, interconnect vulnerable countries, remote regions, smaller islands. So you can really connect their economies of these small and medium companies, enterprises, to the global network. And this means generating local economies, creating stability, and giving people the opportunity to grow steadily in their home country. And I think this is one of the challenges of the future also. And tackling inequality. When it comes to tackling inequalities, our role as a shipping industry will be crucial. We are already working in this direction, investing in a lot of countries and giving the opportunity to be connected to the global network, and to improve the growth internally, so the GDPs. I think this is, an area where we are crucial and enabler.
I think one of the discussions that took place during the pandemic was the, potential need or the risk for reshoring or nearshoring, bringing sort of supply chains kind of closer to where the end product is. Is this something that, you're considering? Because you also said about building up, economies in more remote areas. Are you kind of preemptively working towards a reality where there will be sort of many smaller centers of commerce and trade?
Well, the way we are working, obviously we work together with our customers, but also we explore new opportunities in vulnerable regions, and we really engage on having them connecting to the networks. This doesn't mean probably that we will be back to, local. This will depend on our customers and on a wider, approach to the way they are going to project their business in the future. But when it comes to all the small economies, all the small enterprises that are at local level that will not have the opportunity to sell the products to reach the other side of the world, and so this is the area where we will concentrate, and which we are already addressing, basically. So I think this is also relevant. Sometimes it's not, it's not considered because it's not visible.
Right.
And we consider everything for granted, which is not.
So I think the past year showed how interconnected our world really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you find the energy, the motivation to tackle your job every day?
Well, I find the energy especially when I do see that small changes are happening. I learned in my career that in this kind of activity you cannot you cannot be so fast. You have to be patient and resilient. So I do think resilience is also very much about sustainability and the moment we are in. So and I'm resilient per definition. So this is one of my personal I must say I'm resilient. So, and the energy is there when I do think, do things changing, only because something happened that makes a switch, and people say, okay, you were right.
So you're able to measure the impact of your efforts.
And then, obviously, I also had the privilege to deal with great projects. So, when it was for food waste, it was a unique project on recovering food from cruise ships and turning this into meals for the poor, first ever in the world. Very difficult to be managed because there were a lot of stakeholders, regulation. But then when you overcome this with passion, then, and I find my energy because I'm also very passionate about the topic, but this kind of activities, so having projects done, delivered, even if small, it proves that you can make a difference as an individual, which normally doesn't happen in all the jobs. So if I may say, for me, it's really, really important to have the possibility to make a difference as an individual, even if it's my own job. So I think this is one of the reasons why.
So thank you so much, Stefania, for being here today and for sharing your insights on your role.
So thank you, Christine. It's been really a pleasure, and looking forward to see you again and to move forward in our sustainability journey.
Great. Thank you.